At 1 a.m., the Mafia boss got a desperate call from a little girl. "Please save my mom. She needs you." Those 3 words, that trembling voice, that desperate plea, were all Dominic Santoro could hear before the line went dead. The voice sounded familiar, achingly familiar, like a ghost from his past, reaching through the darkness. But he didn't know where, didn't know who, didn't know if he had seconds or minutes or hours before someone he cared about was lost forever. All he knew was that a child was terrified, and somewhere in this massive city, someone was dying. Before we dive into this heart-pounding story, I need you to drop a comment right now telling me where you're watching from and what time it is. I want to see how far this story reaches. And if you're ready for a tale that'll have you on the edge of your seat, a story about second chances, desperate choices, and a mafia boss who almost lost everything, you better smash that subscribe button like your life depends on it. Hit the like and comment below. I'm ready. Dominic Santoro sat in his penthouse office at 1 a.m. staring at nothing. He couldn't sleep. Hadn't slept well in 2 years. Not since Elena left. Not since his wife took their daughter and walked out of his life because he'd been too busy building an empire to notice his family was crumbling. The penthouse was silent. 30 floors above New York City. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking lights that never stopped twinkling. A view that cost more than most people made in a lifetime, but felt like a tomb. Photos covered his desk. Elena smiling on their wedding day. Lily as a baby, then a toddler, then 5 years old at her last birthday party. The one he'd missed because of a business meeting that couldn't wait. He was pouring his third whiskey when his phone rang. Unknown number. 1:03 a.m. Dominic almost didn't answer. Wrong numbers. Drunk calls. People who didn't know that calling a mafia boss at 1 a.m. was a good way to end up in the river. But something made him pick up. Santoro. Silence. Then breathing. Small. Frightened. Young. "Hello." His voice softened despite himself. "Who is this?" A tiny voice. Shaking. Crying. Barely holding together. "D-Daddy." Dominic's entire world stopped. That voice. He'd know it anywhere. In a crowd of thousands. In the darkest night. In his dreams. Lily. He was on his feet, heart pounding. "Baby, is it you? What's wrong?" "Daddy." Her voice broke. "Daddy, please come. Please save my mommy. She needs you. She needs you." The line went dead. Not hung up. Not disconnected gently. Cut off. Like someone had grabbed the phone. Or knocked it away. Or Dominic's blood turned to ice. "Lily." He was screaming into the phone. "Lily. Baby, answer me." Nothing. Just silence. Just the dial tone that sounded like death. His hands were shaking. Actually shaking. Dominic Santoro, the man who'd stared down rival families, who'd survived 3 assassination attempts, who never showed weakness, was shaking like a leaf. His daughter, his baby girl, had just called him begging for help, and he didn't know where she was. Dominic moved, pressed the intercom on his desk so hard he almost broke it. "Rico, get in here. Now." 10 seconds later, his second-in-command burst through the door. Hair messy, eyes alert, gun already drawn because when the boss yells at 1 a.m., something is wrong. "Boss, what?" "Lily just called me." Dominic's voice was steel and terror. "Something's wrong." The line cut off. "I need that number traced. I need to know where she is. Right now." Rico's eyes went wide. Everyone in the organization knew about Lily. Knew she was the boss's Achilles heel. The one thing that could make Dominic Santoro lose his legendary control. "I'm on it." Rico pulled out his phone, already dialing. "Calling Marco in tech. He can trace any call in. I don't care how long it takes. Find her." While Rico made calls, Dominic paced like a caged animal. His mind was spinning, racing through possibilities, each one worse than the last. Lily called him at 1 a.m., crying, begging him to save Elena. Elena, his ex-wife, the woman he'd loved since he was 25 years old. The woman he'd failed so completely she'd taken their daughter and left. What had happened? Was Elena hurt? Sick? In danger? And where the hell were they? He'd respected Elena's boundaries for 2 years, given her space, seen Lily twice a month on supervised visits at neutral locations. Coffee shops, parks, always with Elena watching, always with that wall between them that said, "You lost the right to be part of our daily lives." He didn't know where they lived. Elena had moved 3 times in 2 years, changed her phone number, made sure he couldn't just show up. To protect Lily from your world, she'd said during the divorce. To give her a normal life. And Dominic had agreed. Because he loved them. Because he'd already failed them once. Because maybe Elena was right. Maybe his world was too dangerous. Too violent. Too dark for a little girl. But now that little girl was in trouble. And he was blind. Rico appeared at his shoulder. Marco's tracing the call. Says he needs 3 minutes. He has 1. Boss, it takes time to... I don't care. Dominic's voice was thunder. My daughter is in danger. His voice cracked. Elena might be hurt. And I'm standing here useless because I don't know where they are. Rico had never seen his boss like this. In 15 years, he'd seen Dominic stay calm during FBI raids, during gang wars, during the night his father was murdered. But mention his family? Dominic came undone. We'll find them, boss. I swear it. Dominic's phone buzzed. Text from Marco. Call traced. Sending location now. An address appeared on screen. Brooklyn. A neighborhood Dominic knew well. Lower income. Working class. The kind of place where people minded their business and didn't call cops. Not the kind of place his wife should be living. That's 20 minutes away. Make it 10. Dominic was already moving, grabbing his jacket, his gun, and call ahead to St. Mary's Hospital. Tell them to be ready for... He couldn't finish. Couldn't say the words. For what, boss? For anything. They were in the elevator. Down 30 floors in seconds that felt like hours. Into the waiting SUV where his driver had the engine already running. Brooklyn, St. Mary's Hospital area. Drive. The SUV tore through empty streets. Running red lights. Doing 80 in a 30 zone. Dominic didn't care. Let the cops try to stop him. Let anyone try to stop him. His phone rang. Hospital. Mr. Santoro, you called requesting we prepare for domestic violence victim. The words tasted like poison. Female. Mid-30s. I don't know the extent of injuries. Just be ready. Sir, has 911 been called? I don't know. That's why I'm calling you. Dominic forced himself to breathe. Please, just be ready. His voice broke. She might need you. We'll be ready, Mr. Santoro. He hung up, stared out at the city flying past, at the lights and buildings and people who had no idea that his world was collapsing. Rico's phone buzzed. He answered, listened. His face went pale. Boss, Marco found something else. What? 911 call from that address. Logged at 12:47 a.m. Neighbors reported domestic disturbance. Screaming. Things breaking. Woman's voice shouting for help. Dominic's fists clenched. Ambulance. Dispatched. Arrived at 12:58. Patient transported to St. Mary's at 1:02. The timeline clicked into place. Elena hurt. Ambulance called. Lily alone and terrified. Making that desperate call at 1:03 a.m. because her mother was unconscious. Because someone had hurt her mother. Who hurt her, Rico? Who? We're pulling records now. That apartment is rented to Elena Moretti. She changed back to her maiden name after the divorce. But there's another name on recent utility bills. Marcus Hayes. The name meant nothing to Dominic. But it would. Soon. Find everything on Marcus Hayes. Everything. Where he works. Where he drinks. Where he breathes. I want to know who he is and why he was in my ex-wife's apartment. The SUV screeched into the hospital parking lot. Dominic was out before it fully stopped. Running. Sprinting through automatic doors that opened too slowly. Elena Moretti. He roared at the reception desk. Where is she? The nurse looked up, startled by the intensity. Sir, are you family? I'm her husband. Not technically true anymore, but he didn't care. The nurse saw his face. The desperation. The terror. The absolute need. Trauma Bay 3. She's. Dominic was already moving. Down the hallway. Past doctors and nurses who jumped out of his way. Past rooms full of people with their own emergencies that didn't matter because only one person mattered right now. He burst through the door of Trauma Bay 3. Medical staff everywhere. Machines beeping. Controlled chaos. And on the gurney, Elena. His Elena, his wife, the mother of his child. Her face was destroyed, swollen, purple, bruised beyond recognition. One eye swollen, completely shut, split lip, blood matted in her dark hair. Dominic felt the air leave his lungs. "Sir, you can't be in here." A doctor tried to stop him. "That's my wife." His voice was barely human. "What happened? Who did this?" The doctor's expression was grim, professional but angry. Severe domestic violence, multiple contusions, possible skull fracture, 3 broken ribs, signs of strangulation. He pointed her neck, fingerprints. Someone's hands had been around her throat. "She's unconscious. We're running scans to check for internal bleeding and brain trauma." Dominic's vision went red. "Where's my daughter?" "Lily Santoro, 7 years old. She would have been with her mother. Waiting room, with a social worker. I need to see her." "Sir, your wife is critical. I need to see my daughter." The roar echoed through the bay. A nurse touched his arm gently. "She's safe. Scared but safe. Go. We'll take care of your wife." Dominic looked at Elena one more time. At the woman he'd loved for 12 years. Who was lying broken because he hadn't been there. "Save her." His voice cracked. "Please, save her. We'll do everything we can." He forced himself to leave. To walk away from Elena because his daughter needed him more right now. The waiting room was harsh fluorescent lights and plastic chairs and fear. And there, in the corner, sitting with a woman in a blazer holding a clipboard. Lily, his baby girl. Her face pale, eyes red from crying. Wearing pajamas with little stars on them. Clutching a stuffed rabbit he'd given her 2 Christmases ago. She looked so small, so scared, so broken. "Daddy." Her voice was tiny, disbelieving. "Lily." She launched herself at him. A 7-year-old missile of tears and fear and relief. Dominic caught her, held her like she was his entire world. Because she was. "You came." She was sobbing into his neck. "I called and you came. Always, baby. Always. I will always come when you call." His voice was wrecked. "I'm so sorry I wasn't there. I'm so sorry. He hurt Mommy, Daddy. He hurt her so bad. There was so much blood, and she wouldn't wake up, and I didn't know what to do." "Chill. You did exactly right. You called me. You were so brave." He pulled back to look at her face. "Who hurt Mommy, Lily? Who is he?" Lily's eyes filled with fresh tears. "Marcus. Mommy's boyfriend. He." The words hit Dominic like a bullet. Boyfriend. Elena had a boyfriend who'd been in their apartment, around his daughter, and who'd put his hands on Elena, who'd beaten her until she was unconscious, who'd terrorized his little girl. Dominic's entire body went still, the kind of still that came before violence, before death. "Tell Daddy everything, Lily, everything that happened tonight." And through tears and hiccups and absolute terror, his 7-year-old daughter told him how their world had shattered. Lily's words came out in broken pieces, each one a dagger straight into Dominic's heart. "Marcus moved in 6 months ago. At first he was nice, Daddy. He brought flowers, made Mommy smile. But then," she hiccuped through sobs, "then he got mean." Dominic held her tighter. His jaw clenched so hard his teeth ached. "Mean how, baby?" He yelled. "A lot. Called Mommy bad names. She'd cry when she thought I was asleep, but I could hear her." Lily's little fingers gripped his shirt. "Then one day Mommy had a black eye. She said she fell, but, Daddy, I'm not stupid. Marcus hit her. 7 years old. His daughter was 7 years old, and she'd been living in a nightmare." "How long, Lily? How long has he been hurting Mommy? For months, maybe?" "It got worse and worse. He'd drink those bottles and get angry. Mommy would make me go to my room, but I could hear everything. The hitting, Mommy crying, things breaking." The social worker, Detective Sarah Rivera, was writing notes. Her expression was stone, but her eyes were fire. She'd seen this story too many times. Watched too many women suffer. Too many children traumatized. "Did he ever hurt you, Lily?" Dominic's voice was barely controlled rage. "He grabbed my arm once. Left bruises. Mommy screamed at him. That night was really bad. I heard him hitting her for a long time." Fresh tears streamed down Lily's face. "I want to call you so many times, but Mommy said, she said you were busy, that you had important work, that we couldn't bother you." "Bother me?" Dominic's voice cracked. "Lily, You're never a bother. Never. You needed me, and he couldn't finish. The guilt was crushing him. Detective Rivera spoke quietly. Mr. Santoro, I need to know what happened tonight. Lily, can you tell us? Lily nodded against Dominic's chest. Marcus came home late. Really late. He was drunk. Stumbling. Mommy told him to sleep it off, but he got mad. Started yelling about money. About how Mommy doesn't work enough hours. That we're bleeding him dry. Elena works 60-hour weeks as a nurse, Dominic said through gritted teeth. She supports herself and Lily. What the hell was he contributing? Nothing, Lily whispered. He quit his job 4 months ago. Just sits home drinking and watching TV while Mommy works double shifts. Every word was gasoline on the fire burning inside Dominic. Tonight Mommy said she wanted him to leave, that it wasn't working out. And Marcus, Lily's whole body shook. He went crazy, started hitting her, over and over. Mommy was screaming. I tried to help, but he pushed me away. I fell, and Mommy was on the floor, and there was blood, and she stopped moving. Sure, baby. You're safe now. Dominic was crying now, too. Actual tears streaming down his face. You're safe. The neighbors called 911. Marcus heard the sirens and ran. Just left Mommy on the floor. I tried to wake her up, but she wouldn't open her eyes. So I found her phone, and I remembered your number. The one you made me memorize. Dominic had made her repeat it 100 times. If you ever need me, Piccolina. Ever. You call this number. I don't care if it's 3 in the morning. I don't care if I'm in a meeting with the president. You call and I come. She'd remembered. His brave, terrified little girl had remembered. You saved Mommy's life, Lily. You calling 911. Calling me. You saved her. Detective Rivera cleared her throat. Mr. Santoro, I need to ask, did you know Elena was in a relationship? No. The word was steel. We've been divorced 2 years. She wanted distance. Space for Lily to have a normal life away from my world. I saw Lily twice a month. Supervised visits. Coffee shops. Parks. Elena never mentioned. He stopped. She never told me about him. Did you know she'd moved? That address in Brooklyn? No. I didn't know where they lived. Elena changed apartments 3 times. Kept it from me deliberately. His voice turned bitter. To protect Lily from my dangerous life. But all she did was put them in danger from a monster she brought home. Mr. Santoro, where is he? Dominic's voice went ice cold. This Marcus Hayes. Where's he right now? We have units searching. Witnesses say he fled on foot. But Mr. Santoro, Detective Rivera's voice was a warning. I know who you are. I know what you do. And I'm telling you right now, let us handle this. Let the system, your system, let my ex-wife get beaten for 4 months. Dominic's roar echoed through the waiting room. Your system did nothing while my daughter watched her mother get destroyed. So forgive me, detective, if I don't trust your system to handle anything. The detective stood, facing down. If you kill him, you go to prison. And Lily loses both parents. That stopped him cold, looking down at his daughter, at her terrified, tear-stained face. She'd already lost so much tonight. He won't, let her lose him too. I won't kill him. The words tasted like lies. Mr. Santoro, I said I won't kill him. He met her eyes, but I'm going to find him. And when I do, he's going to understand what happens when you touch him, wife, family. A nurse appeared. Mr. Santoro, your wife is at a CT scan. Doctor wants to speak with you. Dominic stood, still holding Lily. What's the news? The nurse's face was grim. Doctor will explain, but you should prepare yourself. Those 4 words. Prepare yourself. Dominic's blood turned to ice. He carried Lily down the hallway, each step feeling like walking toward execution, toward the moment where he'd find out if Elena would live or die, if his failures had cost him everything. Dr. Greco met them outside Elena's room. Older man, gray hair, eyes that had seen too much tragedy. Mr. Santoro, your wife, ex-wife, your ex-wife is critical. The skull fracture caused brain swelling. We've induced a medical coma to let the brain heal. She has 3 broken ribs, severe bruising, strangulation marks that indicate he tried to choke her. His voice was tight with anger. Whoever did this wasn't trying to hurt her. He was trying to kill her. The words hit like bullets. Will she wake up? We don't know. Could be days. Could be weeks. Could be. He stopped. Didn't finish. Didn't need to. Could be never. I want to see her. Dr. Greco nodded. 5 minutes. She needs rest. Dominic carried Lily into the room. And there, in the hospital bed, was Elena. Machines breathing for her. Tubes everywhere. Face so swollen she was barely recognizable. The woman he'd loved since he was 25. The woman he'd married, given child, built a life with. Broken. Because he hadn't been there. Because he'd let her push him away. Because some animal had put his hands on her, and Dominic had been 30 floors above the city drinking whiskey and feeling sorry for himself. Mommy. Lily's voice was so small. Mommy, wake up. Please wake up. Elena didn't move. Didn't respond. Just lay there looking like a corpse. Dominic set Lily in the chair beside the bed. Took Elena's hand. The one without IVs. Her fingers were cold. Limp. I'm here, Elena. I'm here, and I'm not leaving. You hear me? You don't get to. His voice broke. You don't get to leave. Not like this. Not when I never got to tell you. Tell her what? That he still loved her? That the divorce papers he'd signed had felt like signing his own death warrant? That every night for 2 years he'd gone to sleep alone in a bed that felt too big without her? Daddy. Lily was watching him with those huge eyes. Is Mommy going to die? The question gutted him. No, baby. No. Mommy's a fighter. She's going to wake up and everything's going to be okay. More lies. Because he didn't know if Elena would wake up. Didn't know if she'd be the same person if she did. Didn't know if his failures had destroyed everything. His phone buzzed. Text from Rico. Found Marcus Hayes. Apartment in Queens. Wanting to grab him. Dominic looked at his daughter. At his ex-wife. At the ruins of the family he'd lost. And typed back. Not yet. Stay on him. I'm coming. He kissed Lily's forehead. Rico's going to stay with you and Mommy. I have to go take care of something. No. Lily grabbed his hand. Daddy, don't leave. You just got here. I have to, baby. I have to make sure the man who hurt Mommy can never hurt anyone again. You're going after Marcus? Yes. Lily's eyes, so much older than 7, met his. Good. He's a bad man, Daddy. Bad men need to be punished. Out of the mouths of babes. I'll be back before morning. I promise. He kissed Elena's hand, whispered against her skin. I've failed you before, but I swear on everything. I will never fail you again. When you wake up, things are going to be different. I'm going to be different. Just, please wake up. Then Dominic Santoro walked out of that hospital room. And the man who left was not the same man who'd entered. The mafia boss who'd built an empire was gone. In his place, a father, a husband, a man who'd just realized what really mattered. And that man was about to show Marcus Hayes exactly what happens when you make the worst mistake of your life. Dominic's SUV cut through New York like a blade through darkness. Queens, 2:47 a.m. The city that never sleeps was finally quiet. Empty streets, flickering streetlights, the kind of silence that came before storms. Rico sat beside him, silent, knowing better than to speak when the boss looked like this. Dominic's hands were steady now. The shaking from the hospital? Gone. Replaced by something cold. Something lethal. Something that made grown men step back when they saw it in his eyes. Boss. Rico finally broke the silence. We're 2 blocks out. You sure you want to do this? I've never been more sure of anything in my life. If you kill him, I'm not going to kill him. Dominic's voice was icy. Death is too easy. Too quick. Marcus Hayes is going to suffer. He's going to understand what it means to put hands on MY family. And then I'm going to let the system have what's left of him. The SUV pulled up outside a rundown apartment building. Peeling paint. Broken windows. The kind of place where people minded their business and didn't ask questions. 4 more SUVs pulled up behind them. 20 men. Armed. Ready. But Dominic held up his hand. Nobody follows me in. This is personal. Boss, that's not smart. I don't care about smart right now, Rico. I care about looking that man in the eyes and making him understand what he's done. Dominic's jaw was steel. He beat my ex-wife unconscious, terrorized my 7-year-old daughter, and he did it in their home, the place where Lily should feel safe. where Elena should feel protected. His voice dropped to something dangerous. So no, nobody comes with me. This is between me and a man who tried to destroy my family. Rico knew better than to argue. Third floor, apartment 3C. He's alone, been there for 2 hours drinking himself stupid. Good. I want him awake. Want him to see what's coming. Dominic checked his gun. Not to kill, just for insurance. Then he walked into that building like an angel of vengeance. The stairwell smelled like urine and desperation. Graffiti covered the walls. Somewhere a baby was crying. Somewhere else a couple was fighting. Normal sounds in a building full of people just trying to survive. But on the third floor, silence. Apartment 3C. Cheap door. Flimsy lock. The kind of place that said, I've given up on life. Dominic didn't knock. He kicked the door open. Wood splintered. Lock shattered. The door flew inward and slammed against the wall. And there, on a stained couch surrounded by empty beer bottles, was Marcus Hayes. Mid-40s. Overweight. Unshaven. Tank top stained with what might be blood. Elena's blood. He jerked up from the couch, eyes wide with terror. Who the hell? Dominic stepped inside, closed what was left of the door behind him, and just stared at the man who'd hurt his family. This was the monster? This pathetic, drunk, worthless piece of garbage? Marcus Hayes. Dominic's voice was quiet. Too quiet. The kind of quiet that came before explosions. I don't know who you think you are, but you can't just break into. I'm Dominic Santoro. 3 words. That's all it took. Marcus's face went from red to white in a heartbeat. Even drunk, even stupid, even this far gone, he knew that name. Everyone in New York knew that name. The head of the Santoro family. The man who controlled half the city's underground. The man you did not cross unless you had a death wish. Oh God. Oh God. Look, man, I didn't know. Elena never said she had an ex who was. Shut up. Dominic's voice was a whip. You don't get to say her name. You don't get to speak. He crossed the room in 3 strides. Grabbed Marcus by the throat. Lifted him off the couch like he weighed nothing. Marcus was choking, clawing at Dominic's hand. Please, I can't breathe. Good. Dominic's eyes were death. Because Elena couldn't breathe, either when you had your hand around her throat. Could she? He threw Marcus across the room. The man crashed into the wall. Fell. Tried to scramble away like the coward he was. You beat her. Dominic advanced slowly, methodically, like a predator stalking prey. For months you put your hands on her. Made her afraid in her own home. Made my daughter watch her mother suffer. I was drunk. I didn't mean. You didn't mean to? Dominic's laugh was cold. You accidentally beat a woman unconscious? Accidentally gave her a skull fracture? Accidentally tried to strangle her? Marcus was crying now. Actual tears and snot and terror. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It won't happen again. You're right. It won't. Dominic grabbed him by the collar. Dragged him to the center of the room. Because you're going to prison. And I'm going to make sure that every inmate knows exactly what you did. You know what happens to woman beaters in prison, Marcus? They don't have a good time. He threw Marcus into a chair. The man collapsed, shaking, sobbing. But first, you're going to tell me everything. Every time you hit her. Every bruise. Every moment of fear you caused. And if you leave anything out. Dominic leaned in close. I'll know. And what I do to you will make prison look like a vacation. Okay. Okay. Just don't kill me. I'm not going to kill you. Dominic's smile was terrifying. That would be too easy. For the next 20 minutes, Marcus Hayes talked. Told Dominic about the first slap 4 months ago. How Elena had talked back, and he'd taught her a lesson. How it became easier each time. How the power of it felt good. Making her scared. Making her cry. Making her feel small. Every word made Dominic's blood boil. But he stayed calm. Stayed controlled. Because losing control meant becoming the kind of man who'd kill Marcus right here. And he made a promise to Lily. A promise to be there. And he couldn't be there from a prison cell. Last night, Dominic's voice was barely human. Tell me about last night. Marcus was shaking so hard his teeth chattered. She said she was leaving. Taking the kid. That I needed to get out. And I lost it. Started hitting her. Couldn't stop. She fell, and I kept going and you left her there to die. The sirens. I heard the sirens. I panicked. Dominic's fist connected with Marcus's jaw. Crack. The sound of bone breaking echoed through the apartment. Marcus screamed. Blood poured from his mouth. Teeth scattered on the floor. That's for Elena. Dominic's voice was ice. Another punch. Ribs this time. Crack. Marcus collapsed, wheezing, crying. That's for Lily. For making my daughter watch you destroy her mother. Dominic stood over the broken man. Every instinct screaming to keep going. To break every bone. To make him suffer the way Elena suffered. But then his phone rang. Hospital. Dr. Greco. Dominic answered with shaking hands. What? Mr. Santoro. Elena is awake. The world stopped. What did you say? She woke up 5 minutes ago. Asking for Lily. Asking for, he paused. Asking for you. Dominic looked at Marcus Hayes. Broken. Bleeding. Terrified. Then he made a choice. Rico. He called out the window. His second-in-command appeared in seconds. Boss. Call Detective Rivera. Tell her I have Marcus Hayes. Tell her he's confessed to everything. And tell her. Dominic looked at the pathetic man on the floor. Tell her he's ready to face justice. Rico's eyes widened. You're turning him over? Elena's awake. She needs me. And I'm done wasting time on garbage. He kicked Marcus one last time. You're going to prison. You're going to spend the next 20 years looking over your shoulder. Because everyone will know what you did. And every day, you're going to wish I'd killed you here. Because what's coming for you there is so much worse. Marcus was sobbing. Please, please. Dominic ignored him. Was already heading for the door. Rico, make sure Detective Rivera gets him. And make sure our friends inside know what he's eyeing for. Let them handle the rest. With pleasure, boss. Dominic ran down those stairs. Out to the SUV. Hospital. Now. The driver floored it. Dominic's heart was pounding. Elena was awake. Alive. Asking for him. After 2 years of distance. 2 years of walls. 2 years of trying to respect her boundaries. She was asking for him. His phone rang again. Lily. Daddy? Daddy, Mommy's awake. She's asking where you are. Tell her I'm coming, baby. Tell her I'm coming and I'm never leaving again. Are you done with Marcus? Yes, Piccolina. He's never going to hurt anyone again. Good. Lily's voice was fierce. Now, come home. Home. When was the last time anything felt like home? The SUV screeched into the hospital parking lot. Dominic was out and running before it stopped. Through the doors. Down the hallway. Past the nurses who didn't even try to stop him this time. To Elena's room. The door was open. And there, sitting up in bed, bruised and broken, but alive, was his Elena. Their eyes met. Elena stared at Dominic like she was seeing a ghost. Her face was still swollen, still bruised. But her eyes, those eyes he'd fallen in love with 12 years ago, were awake, alive, looking at him. Dom. Her voice was hoarse from the breathing tube, barely a whisper. You came? He crossed the room in 3 strides, fell to his knees beside her bed, took her hand like it was the most precious thing in the world. Of course I came. Elena, I will always come. Always. Tears spilled down her cheeks. Lily called you. I told her not to. Bother you. Bother me? His voice cracked. Elena, you could never bother me. Never. You and Lily you're everything. And I should have been there. Should have known something was wrong. Should have. You didn't know. She was crying harder now. I didn't tell you. I kept you away. Thought I was protecting Lily from your world, but all I did was a sob tore from her throat. All I did was put her in danger. Put US in danger. No, Dominic's grip tightened. This is not your fault. Marcus Hayes is a monster. And what he did, that's on him. Not you. But I let him in, Dom. I brought him into our home. Around our daughter. Because you're human. Because you wanted a normal life. A partner who'd be there. His voice broke. And I wasn't there when we were married. Missed birthdays. Anniversaries. Lily's kindergarten graduation. I chose my empire over my family, and you left because of it. You were right to leave. Elena shook her head, winced from the pain, but didn't stop. I was wrong to push you away completely, to keep you from knowing where we lived, what was happening in our lives. Fresh tears fell. If I just told you about Marcus, about the hitting, about how scared I was, I would have torn him apart. Dominic's voice went dark. I would have ended him the first time he put hands on you. I know. That's why I didn't tell you. She looked at him with such sadness. I thought I could handle it. Thought I could protect Lily. Thought. Her voice dropped to a whisper. Thought I deserved it somehow. For failing at our marriage. For not being enough. Stop. Dominic stood. Leaned over her carefully, mindful of her injuries. You listen to me, Elena Santoro. You are more than enough. You have always been enough. Our marriage failed because of me. Because I was an idiot who thought building an empire mattered more than building a life with you. Dom, I'm not done. His eyes were fierce. You left because I gave you no choice. And for 2 years, I respected that. Gave you space. Saw Lily on your terms. But Elena, his voice went soft. Vulnerable. I never stopped loving you. Never stopped wishing you'd come home. That I'd get another chance to prove I could be the man you needed. The machines beeped. The hospital hummed. And in that room, 2 broken people stared at each other with truth hanging between them. I never stopped loving you either. Elena's words came out as a confession. I tried. God, I tried. Dated Marcus thinking he'd be different. That someone normal would be better. But Dom, she gripped his hand like a lifeline. Normal doesn't mean good. Marcus was there every night, but he was a nightmare. You were gone half the time, but when you were there, you were kind. Gentle, the man I fell in love with. Dominic's tears fell freely. When Lily called me at 1 a.m. begging me to save you, I've never been more terrified in my life. Thought I'd lost you. Thought my failures had finally destroyed everything. You didn't lose me. You saved me. Lily saved you. Our brave little girl called 911 and then called me. She's the hero. As if summoned, the door opened. Lily peeked in, Rico behind her. Mommy? Can I come in? Baby. Elena's face lit up despite the pain. Come here. Lily ran to the bed. Dominic lifted her carefully so she could hug her mother without hurting her. You're awake. You're really awake. Lily was crying and laughing at the same time. I'm awake, sweet girl. Thanks to you. You were so brave. I called Daddy like he taught me. And he came. He said he'd always come, and he did. Elena looked at Dominic over their daughter's head. Something shifted in her eyes. Understanding. Forgiveness. Hope. He always keeps his promises when it matters most. The next week was healing. Elena was discharged with strict orders. Rest, therapy time. And Dominic? He brought them home. Not to Elena's apartment. Not to some temporary safe house. To the penthouse. The home they'd shared. The home Lily had been born in. The home that had felt like a tomb for 2 years. But now, with Elena and Lily there, it felt like home again. Lily's room was exactly as she'd left it. Dominic hadn't changed a thing. Her toys, her books, her little bed with the princess sheets. You kept it. Elena stood in the doorway, tears streaming. I kept everything. Your clothes in the closet. Your books on the shelf. Couldn't erase you, Elena. Couldn't pretend you never existed. He turned to her. I always hope you come back. That I'd get another chance. And now I'm going to prove I deserve this chance. Family dinners. Lily's school events. Being present. Not just physically, but emotionally. I'm cutting back work. Handing operations to Rico. Because Elena, his voice was absolute. You and Lily are my world. And I will never forget that again. 3 months later, Dominic proposed. Got down on one knee in the restaurant where they'd had their first date. Marry me. Again. Let me spend the rest of my life proving I'm the man you deserve. Elena said yes. They remarried 6 months later. Small ceremony. Just family. When they exchanged vows, there wasn't a dry eye. I promised to be present. To choose you and Lily every day. You are my everything. I promise to trust you. To never let pride come between us. You are my strength. 1 year later, Dominic left work at 5 p.m. Unheard of before. But now, routine. Made it to Lily's dance recital. Front row. Holding Elena's hand. Their daughter was happy. Confident. Healed. After the show, Lily ran to them. You came. I'll always come, baby. Always. That night, tucking Lily into bed, she asked, Daddy, are you going to leave again? Never, Piccolina. You and Mommy are my world. Nothing is more important. Late that night, Dominic and Elena stood on their balcony overlooking the city. Any regrets? She asked. only that I wasted 2 years we could have had together. But Elena, I'm grateful for the second chance. We're lucky. We're blessed. He kissed her, and I will never take it for granted again. Inside, Lily slept peacefully. No nightmares. No fear. Just dreams. A family healed. Not perfect. Still scarred. But together. Marcus Hayes got 25 years. Prison was not kind to him. Elena returned to nursing. Now helps domestic violence survivors. Lily is thriving. Happy. Safe. And Dominic? Still a mafia boss. But home every night for dinner. Because he learned the hardest lesson. You can conquer the world, but if you lose your family, you've lost everything. Sometimes it takes almost losing everything to remember what truly matters. Sometimes it takes a desperate call at 1 a.m. to save not just one life, but an entire family. If this story destroyed you, if you believe broken families can heal, if you think even the powerful deserve redemption, smash that subscribe button like Lily hitting that call button at 1 a.m. Destroy that like button. Drop a comment. Second chances matter.